Hi there everyone, welcome back to another video. It is Phoenix Bloom, and we are back with the second episode of Every Color 1 Liter. Here's the wheel. And I was thinking about it through this last week, and I think with this series, I'm going to try to do just block 1 and 2 liters if I can. Like, if that leader is boring, or if there's just a clearly better version of like a block 3 or 4 leader that I might want to try instead, then we'll see. But I feel like trying just block 1 and 2 liters right now just to show them off as I can before they rotate out, and maybe with some new support they might have gone, will be pretty fun to do, and more fun than just, showing off Boa or the new Deco Moria as those leaders are just seen in normal play. And so let's get to it with spinning the wheel. Let's see. Red and purple. This is a very interesting color combination. So we'll go down to our leaders here. Let's see, so red and purple leaders. There's a few. Let's see, there's the infamous law, which had to actually be banned, and now we have the promo law. There's the whole starter deck that they came in, which is this Luffy and also the Oasis Captain Kidd. We also have Uta right here. I do have her on the alt art with this sim, as I do personally love this leader. I think, film needs a lot more support, but I think this alt art is just really beautiful. How her red-haired side goes on the red side of the card, and how her white kind of looks like purple with the color gradient. And so we don't have the most options. Let's see. So it's like we have Uta, and then the starter decks. And if I want to go up to 3 and 4, would be either Sugar or Roger, which I'm not going to do. We're going to stick to block 1 or 2. Let's see. I don't really want to do Promo Law. Heart Pirate, I've tried this deck out before. Promo Law is just kind of rough right now, as Heart Pirates seem to get no support ever, if I'm being honest. I do know this Kid recently got some new support, so why don't we try out the Kid? And if we hate him, we can switch. But I think he just got some new support, so it could be better. So, Kid Pirates. And his new support is from EVO 4. It's this Oasis Captain Kidd. It's a 7 toss, no counter, and then 8k on play. Add up to 1 Dawn, says active, and then you can activate main to trash him, and play a Kid's Pirate type character with a cost of 5 or less from your hand. Let's see, I believe that one combos very well with this killer, which is an on play. You can get your leaders active, which is very strong, because if you want to use the leader effects multiple times, his one attacking does not have once per turn, so you can get pretty strong with that. And so, there. I know we want to go 4 with this killer. It's just the searcher. It can't find the 5 toss that we want to see, which is the hard part. Though we can find the rest of the deck, which I think is very needed. I do know this deck also got some new stuff recently. Also in EBO 4, we have a new Tamazo card. It's a 3-cost, 1k counter, only 4k power on the board. It does have blocker, however, and once per turn when a Dawn card is returned to our Dawn deck, if our leader is the Kid Pirates type, we add up to 1 Dawn and rest it. So it's kind of like a 3-cost pudding for the Big Mom Pirates. No, that one's not leader locked, but this one being a blocker does make it pretty good. So I think 4 of those might be good. Just try out some basic ratios. This Kamazo we might just run because it's a 2k counter. We do have the Kamazo from OP01. Probably not, as it's an on-KO. It doesn't seem very reliable. Let's see. It's from OP14. It's an activate main, give up to 1 rested Dawn to leader character. I don't really think we need this 1-cost killer. It's more meant for the red law leader. And also, we don't want to go too heavy on killers just because our searcher in the deck is a killer and he can't find other killers. Let's see. Getting some 5-toss Captain Kids are good. They're basically just a stronger version of this Tamazo, as it's a 5-cost 1K counter, then our turn once per turn, and when we return a Dawn from the field to the deck, we add one as active versus adding one as rested. And he's also a blocker, so he is pretty strong. I do really like this card, and so this gives us 2 different cards right now that can refund us for Dawn minusing, which our leader does do when he attacks. He also, and so I guess I haven't said the leader ability yet. He does have, on our turn, if we have 4 more life, he hits minus 1,000 power. This is very similar to Red Yellow Sabo, Red Black Sabo, the new version of him. But however, when attacking, we can Dawn minus 1 to give him plus 2k power. So that'll either make him a 6k or a 7k, depending on what our life is at. And we do want to be at low life eventually, so that we do become a 5k leader. Though, obviously, if we lose life too fast, then that does kind of, set us behind, especially against yellow decks who can just burn life, and we can't really protect against that. I do know, I believe it was OP09, we did get this kid support, which has on play, add 1 card from our life to our hand, and then we just get a Dawn as active, which is pretty good. As you can tell, this deck has gotten, or this leader's gotten a lot of support, just in more recent sets. Like we have 09, and then we have, some EBO4 cards. Let's see. This is also OP09. I think 4 of this color is very important. Thinking only 3 of this guy, because he doesn't have counter, and we only really need him early game, because when we're late game, we don't want to use him, as we don't really want to waste our life. See, we have the old 7-cost kid, which is on player when attacking, Dawn minus 1. He gives our leader plus 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. I do really like this card, as it can make our leader a 6k power on the opponent's turn. That should just help with our survivability. So I think going some of him. I also want some of this kid. I don't know if I want to run 4 of each, 3 of each. I know I don't want to max out 4 of each of them, as they're both bricks, so I'm going to mess with those ratios a little bit. For events, I do really like Punt Rotten. It's a 2-cost main Dawn minus 1, and either our leader or one of our characters gets plus 5,000 power, and that's for the entire turn. So if we give our leader plus 5,000 power, and then we swing multiple times, like because of this killer, it can really lead to some explosive turns. I think 2 of those, as again, they're having a counter. Punt Vice, I don't know if we play or not. Probably not. It doesn't really seem like it. Let's see, let's look at some more red cards. There's the kid for OP14. It's an on-play for a leader supernova type. We play a red character with 2,000 power or less. And our leader doesn't even have supernova. I don't know why this kid wasn't even supernova typing. It's just kid pirates typing. It is pretty weird, but it is what it is. Let's see. We do have this Kid and Killer. It doesn't really do anything specifically for our leader. They're just generically good red rush cards, so I'll put 2 Kid and Killer in for right now. I can see going up to 3. I don't think you ever want to run 4 of this card. It's just generically good red stuff that can finish a game really fast, as just a 7k rush buy for 4 is not very expected late game. Let's see. This Heat was also from OP09. It's a blocker then on play. We give up to one of our power 4,000 or lower leaders plus 1,000 power for the turn. That could be good, as, again, it's meant for this leader. Though, again, it's kind of like the 3-cost kid, as it's only really usable early game when we are a 4,000 power leader, versus late game when we're not. I feel like we need to focus more on counter right now, though, so like this wire, it's Kid Pirate, so it's searchable. And it also could have rush. It's conditional rush. I think adding 4 of it just to get some 2k counters on. Let's see. I think we add the Tamazo as well. Again, it's searchable, and if we ever do need to play it, it could be good against decks like Jinbei, as they play a lot of small characters, and KOing them can be pretty nice. Let's see. What other cards have we not talked about? We haven't talked about the Old Heat or Old Wire. They're both okay. They came out in the starter deck. The Old Wire is once per turn if a Dawn's returned to the Dawn deck, we draw one, discard one. I don't really think we need this effect, especially because he tossed 3. We already have a lot of plays on 3. Like we have this Kamazo, we have this kid, we can search, or we can, swing big. Then the Old Heat is just once turn when a Donner is turned to the deck. He himself gets plus 2,000 power, and then we didn't swing with him once, but then it's really easy for the opponent to swing into Heat on their turns. He's a 4K base, so really don't think either of them are usable. This 5-toss kid, also from the starter, is not the best. It's kind of like the 2K Tamazo, as when a Donner is returned, we KO one of our opponent's rested characters with toss 3 or less. However, with this killer, 1, they have to be rested, 2, it's only 3 or less, so I don't think it's really that useful. So I think that's the best way to get for just kid pirate support. So let's just do basic red and purple support right now. I think, if we're doing red, doing 1 Roger might be good. Maybe 1 or 2 Rogers. I'll do 2 Roger, just so we have, I think Roger's one of those cards where any red deck could use at least 1 of him. Let's see. There's also the chance, do we want to play a Bond Clay? I don't know. I personally, I'm not going to play it. I just don't like it the best. Let's see, I do know some purple events that could be helpful. There's a 1-cost event that I'm pretty sure can search. Oh, yeah. So, when you're at Sea You Fight Pirates, it's Wano country, so we can't search this event. However, as main, look at top 3 to get a Straw Hat Crew, Kid Pirate, or Heart Pirates type. I think we run that just so we have more search power, as this card can search our 5-cost killer, versus our pure Kid Pirates can't search a killer. So that way we have 2 different searchers, and one of them can find our main card. I do really like that. And then just basic events that might be good. I know a lot of decks play this Divine Departure, as it's one of the new cycle of cards that can be used as counter. It's like those old 0-cost, where you can trash 1 card from your hand. Up to one of our leader characters gains plus 3,000 power. Or it also has the main to rest 5 Dawn. Then if we have any Dawn cards given, we give up to one of our opponent's characters minus 8,000 power for the turn. We could do that. Let's see, there's also stuff like Blast Breath. I'm trying to see where that is. This is just, straight from one of the first star decks. It's a 1-cost Dawn -1, your leader, or one of your characters gains plus 4,000 power. I think this card's always been popular. I know Damn and Knife, it could be decent. It's Dawn -1, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 5,000 power. That could be good for getting through blockers and stuff. We also have access to red events, which gives us access to stuff like Rad Beam, which is a 1-cost, and it's plus 2,000 power. But late game, it's plus 4,000 power, basically. So it's like a Blast Breath, but without the Dawn -1. I know for old cards used to be ran, there's always Guard Point, but I feel like in this day and age, we have better cards than Guard Point to use. Let's see. We could focus on kind of doing just bid swings with leader, do something like King Kong Gatling. It gives up to one of our leaders plus 3,000 power, and then if our opponent has a character with 7,000 power or more, we give another person or the same character leader plus another 1,000 power. So this should be 2 Dawn, give our leader plus 3,000 power. That's, late game they probably have that, which could be decent. Let's see, and we could also do some more characters. I'm thinking, I want to try this right now. I think adding maybe 3 Rad Beams, going down 1 on here, and then see if there's any generic purple stuff that might be good. I don't think we're minusing enough Dawn for Black Maria to really be extremely useful. We could just use this Sanji. It's if we have 2 or fewer Dawn cards than our opponent. He's just basically a 3-toss in hand, hits 2-power blocker, and a 2-take counter. I think for generic purple, he's one of the best cards. So let's put him in for right now. 3 of him would get us up to 51 cards, so we'll probably end up going with that. Just want to see if there's anything better. There is this 7-toss Sanji we could do. He can get Rush. He will basically always get Rush. There's also this Goldie Roger that just came out. If you or our opponent has 10 Dawn cards, our leader gets +2 power. I do really like this Roger, so maybe going down to 2 Rad Beam, 1 Roger, then playing more, like doing something like that. And then as we come back to edit this deck, I could also see us doing stuff with this Luffy. It is a rush, which is good. I can see us doing something with the Lin, giving us some heal. Maybe even doing something with this old Kaido for another rush body. Or even like just generic good stuff like Rayleigh or Katakuri. But I want to try this for right now. Red, purple, kid. And let's take it to ladder. See what we can do with it. Wait. I forgot to actually set it as our deck right now. That always happens. Alright, let's see. Red, purple, kid. Quick play. I think this leader is very interesting. He's probably the leader out of the 3 from that original star deck that is played the least. I think going first is our preferred curve because we have cards on 3, 5, and 7. So we'll keep this. It's not a lot of counter, but does give us some like a search run turn 1. Turn 2, we can use this kid. Turn 3, we can that one. I like that. So we'll start with search. Let's see, do we want a Tommaso or do we want a killer? I think Tommaso here. On the turn. Tommaso does do a very similar thing to our 5-toss kid. So, alright. Oh, we got another 7-toss. Alright, so here it's either do I want to play the 3-toss kid or the Tommaso. I think doing the kid here is best. We take a life, but we get an active Dawn. Just put it on lead. Then I'm not going to use our leader effect right now. I like the ramping up one. And 5 and a 6. I forgot about that. Forgot the 6 power leader. But that means on our next turn we'll be at 6 Dawn. So I could play this kid and then use our leader effect to Dawn -1. When it sits into life, I'll just counter with wire. Putting it to 3 life will give us our power back, though I think it's fine for right now, especially because against this deck he plays a lot of big bodies late game. Right, we have 6. Let's go kid. We'll go like that. And then I can attach an active to our character and go sit again. Alright, and then we'll end our turn there. We do have a blocker here, which I don't want him to die, so I might not block anything too crazy with him. But this means next turn, we can go into our 7-toss kid to make our leader sit stay base, put us on equal footing. Let's see, do I want to counter out of this? It does give us some extra swings. I think I will just make him have to attack it again if he really wants it dead. And we're okay with that. He is getting a lot of card advantage here. In next turn, he will be at 10. But that means that our Roger will be turned on, which is great for us. So I think going 7 cost kid here. Turning it on. Alright. And now that means once we do it to 3 life, we can start being a big leader. So attach everything here. Maybe I'll keep one up. Maybe it looks like I have an event. Or no. I'm going to attach everything. I'm going to swing into Bond play. He'll probably block. Do I want to return a Dawn? If I return Dawn, I'll only be at 9 next turn, but that is still enough for Roger. I think I do. That way, even if he blocks, he'll have to give us cards out of his hand. Like a lot of cards to counter out, and then he just lets the Bond play die. Alright. And I might have not even had to, go down one more Dawn. I just wanted to be safe, because if I just went that 7 into that, he could have blocked with a Tsunami and just given us 1 2K, versus that way he had to give us a lot more cards out of his hand. And how we're looking right now is next turn, I will probably end up playing this Goldie Roger, since he will be at 10 Dawn. He does Sanji into a Roger. He does 8. We will just take that one. So like normally, in my games, I'd be more worried about this Roger buffing him. But since we're going to have our own Roger buffing us, it will put us on closer, not exactly equal footing, but it will put us closer to what this Luffy's power will be doing. And I feel like we'll still be able to pressure him. And so he does have 1 Dawn up. It's probably a Dum Dum Giant, if we're being honest. But he has 10, which means we can go Roger. And then I can swing 8 in with this guy. Dawn minusing 1 to make our lead even stronger. Alright. And now I just swing really big with lead, probably. $12 into 8. He giants. Makes sense. I don't think he realized. Yeah, he had to give us 1 more card. That's good for us. That's funny. And because we were able to buff our leader so much with these two, we're now an 8K base, which means even if he plays a Roger, he'll still have to attach Dawn to lead to be able to hit us with his lead, which is really what we like to see. Mihawk's bottoms our blocker. He does that. Do I want to heavily protect this kid? I can, because he doesn't know we have another kid in hand, so I like that. So I'll go 2 with the Sanji and 1 with the Kamazo. Maybe, or I'll do 1 with the kid. This just make him attack with something else. He might attach onto Sanji if he's worried that I have a 2K counter in my hand. Which will mean he won't be able to attack my life, which I do like. Oh, he's just going to try it. This is making me wish I had a 2K counter in hand to punish this, but I don't. And he still can't even attack my life right now, which I really like. Thing is, without another Roger in our hand... See, that's where he gets a lot faster than we do, as he can stack our deck. We can't stack our deck, so just getting this Roger is like pure luck for us. Which feels a bit worse, but it's just that Roger's a really good card. As we saw, it gave us a lot of really good tempo on our last turn. On our next upcoming turn, instead of attacking life, I might try and clear board. Just because he has one Dawn up, definitely for a giant. He has in hand and a blocker. There's no way I'm killing him. So I think it's just ultimately better to do this. So I'm going to Tomazo, and then I'll 7-cost Kid. Minusing a Dawn, making her lead higher. Then we'll get another Dawn with him. Go 10 into... Let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna go into life. I want him to give us more cards out of his hand right now, and he just won't do that if I just go 10 into 10 or 10 into 9. He gives us the blocker. And then if I swing in him here with 8, he can just giant out of it. That does get rid of a giant for next turn, though. I like that. It just makes him use his cards. So let's see what that gives us. Or he can just give me a 2K and a 1K. Oh, or he tier 2s. I didn't even think about a tier 2, honestly. Interesting card, yeah. So this is where we're starting to slow down. We only have 2 cards in hand. Our board is not looking the prettiest. He goes sits into sits. Do I 2K out of that, or do I just take it? I think I just take it. I want to save my counter for protecting my cards on board right now. Alright, this killer is good. It can let us attack with our lead multiple times next turn. Let's try and pressure him into lethal. If he has another Mihawk, that would be really bad for us, as that will let him get rid of our kid right here. If he has another Roger, that will also be annoying. I think, honestly, another Mihawk would be worse than if he had another Roger, just as that gets rid of a swing completely, versus with the other Roger. Oh, he has a Hachi Wrestler blocker. I didn't think about that. Yeah. He goes 10 into 6. We'll take. I think he'll just try and push lethal here to where I won't even get another turn, so. Yeah, he's really thinking about this one, because he has 2 9s on board, then if he attaches a bunch, I just don't think I'll be able to... Yep. So even if this is a 2K, which it's not, so we only have 3K counter, and that is... They had 2 giants in hand. That was a good one. This deck is very strong, but it also showed like we were able to keep pace with it for a turn or two there. And I think if he wasn't able to rest our blocker and say something like if we were able to get one more turn, I think having the Roger kid and then attach bunch to lead and just do a kill or get another lead swing, that could have probably won us the game there. So I do really like how that one went. Let's see, we'll try and find another game. Trying to think what cards we might want to add or change to the deck. I didn't see most of the deck that game, as I only got that one searcher and never saw that 1-cost kid. So we didn't even get to really see the power of like the new 7-cost kid character. Oh, Yellow Luffy. If you guys saw my video from yesterday, we played this guy a lot, and I feel like every video I make this week and just upcoming time, we will see a lot of this leader. He is a very popular one. All right, we search. So it's either Wire or 7-cost kid. We don't have the most block counter in hand right now, so I think I'm just going to go for wire. And then I'll put it like that. Alright. Alright, our next turn. We don't have any good 3 Dawn plays this game like we did last one. So I think I'll just go 7. I'm not going to return a Dawn here, as I want to be on turf to play this kid next turn. He goes 5. We'll just take it. Then he does the Sanji. He has Sanji, get another Sanji. Alright. So we're at 5 here. Shouldn't do this kid, which means we can use lead effect now without really worrying about going down Dawn. And since he gives us a Dawn as active, we can now play our Killer Searcher. Get another body on field, which probably won't matter, but it could for attaching Dawn later in the game. And it'll just let us see some more cards in our deck. I think one thing I am seeing, though, is this deck is very brick heavy. We do run a lot of kind of like end game cards here. So then I'll do 1 for the search. Should get the Kamazo here. It's another blocker in case he gets rid of our 5 cost. Because next turn we're probably doing this kid anyways. I like getting Kamazo. And the funny thing about this searcher, since this searcher only says killer, even though, you know, the whole killer Kamazo thing, we get to get a Kamazo. So, you know, love how names work there. That sucks, Burning Life, but that's what yellow does. I feel like that's yellow's whole thing right now is less staining life, more burning life. 7 charge, so probably do the kid here. This game we won't be able to use this 8-toss Roger as early as we did the last game, just because with the yellow deck he doesn't really ramp that often. So we'll go 7 minus a Dawn, put 1 on lead. Can either attach 1 to lead, swing 7. Can use it for the searcher. I think I'll go 6, and I'm not going to use lead effect. And then I'll just use the search. Venus, the other 7-cost kid could be good. So I can go that, then activate main, trash him, and play out a killer. I like going this kid. Plus, since we haven't even seen him yet, this will really show us if he's good, if he's not good, if we should add more cards or for him, or if we should just take him out of the deck completely. He does get another Robin out, which is rough. Give him the Kamazo here. He goes 6. Give him wire. Go 6 again. Oh, that's terrible for us, but I don't want him the killer, but I also don't want to be at 1 life because of the 9-cost Bonnie. So, let's see, we're at 9. I can play out this kid, not use his effect this turn if I want to. Stay inactive. Do something like 10 into Robin. Buff up our lead for next turn. And then I can do... I could trash him. Play out Hidden Killer. I like that, actually. Get some rush. We'll go 7 into Sanji. And then I'll just swing into life. Go 8. He'll probably take it and end our turn. He has 10 cards in hand versus R2. That is insane. Sits into 5. He didn't have it. That is the really hard part about him just trashing our life because of these yellow cards. It's like we don't get to see so many things. Joe sits into sits. We do another kid. Then he goes the Bonnie. We'll have to block that. This is a really terrible position for us. Since we're now at 0 life, our Roger's online. Though it's not like he has a blocker, and it's also not like he's really low in life. I could go the Goldie Roger route, just at our leader's base power up. Though I think we are not at a safe enough position to do that. So I think getting a few blockers up is probably safe. I really want to get rid of this Bonnie. So I could go 10. Get some cards out of his hand. I'll start 10. Alright. And then I'll do 1 for the kid. I think just getting a 2K commas though is probably the safest play here. And then I'll go 6. Go to 8. And then we do have 2 blockers, and he mates lead and block. Yeah. Okay. That was a lot worse of a game than our first one. He also had just more Bonnies in hand. Let's see. So what did we learn there? Robin trashing life was really hard for us. This deck, I think, already suffers on just low hand size, and our life being trashed versus going to our hand was really rough. Let's RP Kid. Alright, what could we add to the deck? Work around it. So, let's see. I did like this Roger that one game we played it, though him not being searchable is really rough. Maybe going down to 2 or even taking him out of the deck completely, I can see. This kid was interesting. I was able to play him and active, and I just killed him right away for the Kid Killer. I think I just did that as I want another attack right away. Though, in the future, I think we want to play this kid and then wait a turn, attack with him, and then activate main to trash him, and then either play this Kid Killer or this killer, get some attacks right away going. Let's see. I don't like how many Brits we have. So we have these, we have these, we have him, we had these. It's just a lot of Brits all around. We have these guys. I think going down to 2 on this is fine. Do we want more high-end? Do we want more early cards? Do we need more events? Let's see. Maybe this Sanji has the on-tail to draw a card, and we did see there that one of our hardest things was keeping card advantage. Let's see. Plus, if we do run with this Sanji, it is Straw Hat typing, so it can be searched with the event. I think we could try out something like that. Let's see. Maybe go down... I think going down to 2 of him is fine. Let's try no Rogers right now. And do that. And just get another one of this 2K. We can also think more kind of rushing and light pressure. Go with this Sanji. His effect to rest an opponent's character could be good as well. Plus he has counter. I like that a lot. So, how could we fit him in? Probably go down the 10 cost Roger. Like that. Okay, I want to try out this list right now. We added the 3-toss Sanji and the 7-tossed. They are searchable through our event. And the 3-toss adds some good early game pressure. Plus, it also adds a little bit of card advantage with its on KO. And then with the 7-toss Sanji, it adds some pressure with it being a rush and able to rest some blockers. Plus, with them both having counter, we basically replaced all of our, not all of our Brits, but we placed most Brits with some counters right there, which I feel pretty good about. And so I want to test out this version of the list, see what we can do. I think with this leader, a big thing that we're seeing is the biggest problems have been card advantage and board removal, because we're not really cheating out a lot of bodies. Speaking about cheating out bodies, this Dr. Moria loves to cheat out bodies. Alright, what do we think? I think we keep this. We have some searchers. We also have the Sanji, which we can play on 3 at pressure, or the Tamazo. So it gives us a lot of options. Here, we can either do 5-toss Kid or the Sanji. I think I want to try the Sanji against this matchup to get some pressure on him. You know, try out these new cards that we added. Yeah, so next turn, it's really just, do we want to do Kamazo or do we want to do the Sanji? I think doing the Sanji first is better. That way, on our next turn, like on our third turn, we can attack with the Sanji and then set something up with the Kamazo, or depending on what we draw. I like that idea better. He does get the mill with the Sindri, though he doesn't have anything really good to reborn yet with his triggers, so I'm really happy about that. So we will go Sanji, end our turn. Yeah, that is rough, because I didn't want to use lead effect there, as I just didn't want to be on 4 next turn. I'd rather be on 5 in case we happen to draw the 5-toss Kid, or, you know, we'll just see what we draw, but it means we didn't get to attack, though that could be good, because we might want to just save it to when we can attack multiple times. So if he does get a trigger to play rested character, I can attack that rested character right away to, you know. And I think that's the best way to really go against this Decomori leader. You want pressure, but you also want to pressure their board. Yes, all of their, you know, yellow characters have on-KO effects. That is really rough for us, making it to where the Sanji cannot attack, though. Hito sits. Is he gonna heal here? He does. That, I'm surprised he did that. We'll just take this first one. Ooh, do we want to rot in effect? If we, that would put us on a better curve, I feel like. So yeah, we'll do that, as that will set us up for. Oh, I think he didn't like that. I'm really surprised he healed there, because his hand is not great. Like, this bow is strong for late game. And then, but I looked at this, he wouldn't have hit a trigger for till his third, and then he only had 2 triggers in life, so that was not that good for him. We didn't even really get to see our cards there, so let's go into another one. I really want to see how these Sanjis, you know, hold up. It is funny that almost every tech card we've added has been a Sanji, with the 3-toss, 6-toss, and 7-toss. What can I say? They're really good generic cards. We will see, you know? Oh, we did a Mihawk. Alright. I'm gonna mulligan this one. This is an okay hand. Seeing doubles a lot, which I'm not really happy about. And we're on our bad, or not our bad curve, but we're on our curve that we don't really prefer. Oh my god, why are we seeing all of the Tomazos all of a sudden? This is not what we want to do at all. I think I'm just going to swing big into lead here. Alright, he already gets the Tashidi down early. He goes sits. Do we want to counter that, or do we want to be on low life? I think I really hate going down to life so fast, but because he isn't yellow, which can burn really fast, I think we're okay about it. I want to take a 2K counter here. And then, so on this turn, I can try to do something with Punk Rotten and just blast this Tashigi. I think that's honestly the best thing I could do. So alright, and I'll play another Kamazo. That was rough. We had to go down one Dawn, though it will just put us on our normal curve, like we're going turn 1. This is not the worst, considering we don't have a lot of characters. We're mainly focused on attacking bid with lead right now. So who knows? I might swing really big into the Shanks. Sure. We have another Kamazo up, so I'm okay with him getting rid of that first one. We're at 7. So I can play this kid. I can do the one to make my lead a 6K base. So whatever we do, we have to think about this. Though luckily both my kids are 8K power bases. I think going... He's going to be at 9 next turn, so we don't have to worry about Lon Beppo. We do have to worry about the green Mihawk, however, but doing this seems fine to me. And I'll just go big into life. He might play an event. I don't know. I've seen some Mihawks use events. I've seen some Mihawks not use events. It's really weird. I feel like Mihawk's one of those decks where you could really do either, and they're both good. Like, yeah, every Mihawk plays Tashigi, every Mihawk plays Shanks. But, like, there's the Supernova build, there's one that plays heavy events. There's just generic green good stuff. Slop. It's like, there's a lot of decks that are good. The Perona. This is probably just one of the best generic searchers. Maybe not. He got no cards. That's really weird. In this deck, how do you get no cards to draw? Because green events or slash, what cards does this deck play that's not an event or a slash? That's weird. Sits in a Kamazo. I don't like giving that up, but I think I have to, because I'm not going to spend a lot into protecting that. Little does he know, our board is terrible, and we have a third Kamazo in our hand. 10. I don't like that. Then I can go one wire, put us to 7. Another wire, put us to 9. We have to put so many cards. I'm just going to take it. And then I feel like on this turn, I really have to try and kill at least one of these Shanks, which is the hard part. I'll just go sits into life first. Yep. Okay. So here, I know I can trash this kid to play out a killer, which can restand our lead. So I want to do a bid play with lead here. Can, like, attach 5, swing and bid. Can do something with this kid, make our base power higher. Let's do something like that. So do that, return it on, make our base power higher. Attach 3. Swing 9, we'll Dawn Maestro up to 11. Then we are going to have to minus a lot of Dawn here, but Yeah, that'll put us down really low next turn, but we did get some characters on board. We got rid of one of the Shanks. We're a 6-Tay power base. We have a lot of 2-Tays in hand. We have actually all counter in hand. We have no bricks, so which is good. He is able to rest that. Okay. We have counter out of this, so we'll wire, and we'll do 2 wire here. I feel like the Tomzo might be better this matchup, as it can get rid of the Perona and stuff like that. Or get rid of a Teacher Nojo. I know some Mihawk decks play that as just something easy to rest that restands itself. Let's see. If he plays a blocker to try and protect something, we do have this Sanji to get around that. We have another killer if we want to do lead multiple times as well. Alright, he plays a Bonnie here. I think he might tap... Will he tap 2 for the Tashigi? I'm not sure. If he goes sits... Okay, do I just Kamazo? I only need 1 Tay counter to out of it. I feel kind of weird in River Kamazo because it is a blocker, but it's a 3-toss and it's his deck. He can rest it so easily. I think it's just not the best right now. Okay. I want to get rid of his Shanks. I really do. He does have a blocker, so I think doing this Sanji could be good to rest the blocker. Alright, and then... just go 4 into 2. I'm never really attaching Dawn to this killer. Go sits. He takes. Go 7. So I could attach this Dawn to lead. That puts us to 7. Attack puts us to 9. Try no into Shanks. Or I can swing into the Bonnie. I like that idea. Yeah, so here, now next turn we're only going to be on 7. We did go really low on Dawn, which I don't really like. Though we don't have any bid bodies in hand, and right now it's very much trying to get a hold of the board, get characters out while we can. This Shanks is rough, just... yeah, so... sits. We can go... 2K puts us to 8. Another 2 puts us... we can basically give away all of our counter to get out of this. I think I will, because we only have 2 life right now. So I can see him... if he's playing this Bonnie, he's probably also playing Alon Beppo. Oh yeah, he's playing the Hawkins. He's doing... oh, he's definitely on a high Supernova package. So he 100% has Alon Beppo in the deck. I don't know if he has it in his hand right now. Alright. He does the 9-cost Mihawk. That's rough, him resting our 7-cost kid, as that is one of our better cards protecting lead. Sits into 5, I don't mind, because he's basically nerfed right now. 8 into 7, I hate, but yeah, he did kind of just realize that he cleared our board. This Chinchilla does represent a 7K rush body, however, because he is at 2 life. God, if we could rest this, we would have 3 attacks, and I would feel better about pushing lethal. But since I can't push lethal, I have to do something about his board right now. See this Tashigi. Okay, so we'll go Tin Killer. 8 into 8. Go So 8 and 8. I think that was just the best I could have done, because if I played the 7 cost, then I'm only getting 1 attack, and that was with my lead. So I think this game is pretty much over from this board position. He does 9. Yeah, it's GG. That was a rough one. He had that Law of Eppo, Bonnie, and a Perona. See, Mihat's a good control deck. I'm trying to think what we could have done differently. I know we went really down on Dawn, so that might have not been the best. I was really aggressive that one turn, doing that Punt Rotten play, so I maybe should have saved that for a Shanks. See, Tashidi, I really wanted to get that card out of the way, but I think looking back on it, saving Punt Rotten for a play against a Shanks would have been better. So I think, let's see, is there any other changes we want to do to the deck before we're done with this? I think this is my preferred way of the deck. We saw how this kid could be useful in that last game, as we did get an attack in, and then we traded him for a restand on our lead. We saw this Sanji being useful resting a blocker. So I think this is my preferred list. I'm going to try one more game, see if we can get a win with RP Kid, and I think that'll do it for this week. Let's see. So early game, I feel like our plays are pretty noticed. Like if we get the Sanji, that's probably our second best play. Oh, another Deco Moria. Maybe we'll play against this one for real this time. I know last time was a bit funny. Oh, this is a weird hand. Seeing both of our rad beams and our openers, not the best. Though I guess upside we do have the Tommaso, which means we can start using lead effect right away. I'm okay with him getting a trigger here because like he doesn't have anything to get off that trigger. So, alright, but he does get this injury. Nothing really that great to reborn. He has an Absalom. He's thinking about healing. He won't. I'll just take this first hit. Oh, this is a weird hand right now. Well, at 5, I could play a Kamazo, which will get rid of the Sindri. Which could be something, maybe. Yeah, I'll do it. This Kamazo can be an attack next turn. Then does he bring back anything with the trigger? He did another Absalom here. Oh, yep, he uses Hodback. Then Absalom. Okay, he's at 2, so he'll definitely start healing soon, I feel like. But here with lead, he can do 5, 5, or I guess he can use lead, kill Hodback, go sits, and then a 7. That could be pretty rough. I think I want to focus board on my next turn if possible. We'll be at 7, so I can use the Sanji to rest one of his things and swing into that. Just clearing his board would be pretty good for us. It will preserve our life and can set us up on good stuff. The hard part, getting rid of these Absaloms gives him more cards in his hand. Getting rid of a Hodback gives him another character on board. He doesn't currently have a Perona to stop us from attacking. That Perona is one of the harder ones to get around, because if you can just play it out of nowhere, and it stops one of our attacks. So I think in this matchup, it's just always important, if possible, attack with our characters first, and then attack with lead. Because if we attack with lead and then he gets the Perona, it just screws our whole thing up. I think he's really thinking what to do with if he KOs the Hodback or not here. Okay, so let's think on our turn. We can do this kid if we want to do the slow game, though considering I don't really have anything to cheat out with him, I think it's between the old kid or the Sanji. The old kid can make us a 6K base and represent just really good swings for the foreseeable future. The Sanji represents a more aggro push. I think I'm leaning more towards the Sanji, honestly. As that Sanji can rest any of his characters right now and swing in. He's thinking really hard here. As Trash is... He's knocked on the best mill so far. Just 2 Sindri, a Kumasi, an Event, and then a Sitz Toss Moria, which he can't really bring back with anything. Yeah, this Moria leader's very interesting, I feel like. I was a big fan of the mono black Deco Moria leader, and so seeing him get yellow and just not completely change his game plan around, but be very unique to how the deck used to play. Like focusing so much on these triggers, which I think is a really cool thing, how they all play themselves out of the grave, but... Let's see. And then this PRBO2 Moria Sport is very strong as well. This deck has just gotten good support recently. See, if he doesn't do anything soon, I think he might have just left. Man, if both of our games against Moria just kind of wash out, that would be very disappointing, I feel like. Yeah, I don't think he's coming back here, so... I think this is just a sign that it's time to put this kid away. Let's see. Alright, let's just look over the deck list one more time for this week. Red Purple Kid. And then I want to also compare him to some other leaders that kind of talked about thought process and like what we see with him and why he's less played than the others. So this kid, he has a bid stipulation. I think they tried to give all the leaders in this starter thing their own stipulations, like 6K power, only 3 life. They thought that'd be a stipulation, but honestly it just makes him really good. As we know, this exact stat line is popular in a lot of leaders. The blue-purple Luffy, which we played against today, actually, this one right here, same exact stat line, and this deck is extremely strong. We also see this stat line with a few other leaders. Then we also have something similar with like this Roger stat line being a 7-5, but not really being that. And so leaders that manipulate their power just to be above that 5K base, I think always kind of tend to be stronger. We see that with this Bonnie. Like endgame, they turn to a 7K power as well. I know in this Odin first round, a lot of people were talking about if he would be strong or not as he turns into a 6K power leader. This Sabo, we see that he starts as a 4, but then late game he turns into a 6K as well. And so we see, like, even with here, we're a 4K power leader. Luckily it's only on our turn, not the opponent's turn. But when attacking, having to give a Dawn basically just to turn into a normal leader is really rough. Though late game, when we do reach that point, we can turn to our normal lead. However, just having to be down on our life puts us at a weird position, because it basically puts us at 3 life. But then once we're at 3 life, we're only at 5,000 base lead. So we have this Luffy's life, but we are minus 1,000 power, which puts us way behind. Because I know, like, this Luffy's been very popular, and even, like, our cards that are good, say, this kid on play mates us a 6k power lead till the start of our next turn, it makes this Luffy a 7k power lead till the start of our next turn. So, I feel like this kid just kind of, even with his own support, can't really utilize it that well. And it's not the support that's the issue, it's just the design behind this kid's effect. And then if we see in the same starter, we have the Trafalgar Law. Activate main Dawn -3. Return an opponent's card with 3,000 power less to the bottom of the deck, then play a 4 cost lower from the hand. Completely different from these two, who probably focused. This deck focuses a lot around bigger bodies. This deck focuses on swinging with lead. And this is way more of a control deck. And it's really showing how these colors kind of change. And I just feel like, I wanted to play this kid. He got a lot of new support. We had an 09. He got this kid, or this kill, well, not that killer. It was this wire, this killer, like a bunch of support in 09, and then in EBO4 we got 2 new cards with Kid and then the 3-toss Thomas. I think this 3-toss Thomas, though, is extremely good. It's probably one of the best supports the deck's gotten because it is a searchable version of the 3-tossed Pudding, which once per turn when a Dawn's returned to the deck, we set to 1 Dawn as rested. I remember when I first started playing this kid, like just testing him out way back in 09 when that sport came out, I was trying out this Pudding. And, felt great to play, except for it wasn't searchable. Now we finally have a searchable version of it, and it feels great. Plus, it's a blocker. The only game where he didn't really shine the best was against that Mihawk, who could just rest him, so we didn't even get to block with him. Other strong cards, like, we have this kid. I maybe could have attacked with him in some of our games versus holding him back as a blocker. But even then, he sets up for some very good things. But I think as we see with the support from this kid or from this Tamazo, we need cards just to negate our leader effect. Just to bring back Dawn. Or especially with this 3-toss kid, he basically just takes the life so that we could get lower and become, not weakened. But then that puts us at a losing position with our life and we're fighting for it. And right now in the meta, against so many yellow cards like the Bonnie, the Boa, the Robin, the Citrus ROM that we saw, being able to just send life straight from our life area to our trash and not even go to our hand is just really rough for us if we're already at that 3 life base. Because, I know when I first tested out this deck, I would just try and play multiple of these 3-toss kids, get to as low life as possible. Hell, I know I even used to play this 2-toss Sanji as a way to take life, and I debated trying it out for this deck. It is a 2-day counter, and I think if I spent more time on it, I could see this card being added in, but having to take our own life to become a 5k base is really rough. I think if I would rework this leader at all, since they are starting to rework leader with the new blocks, making him maybe a 6k base, and then if you have to go down on life, like a 6k base, but he gives himself minus power, then if you have to go down to life to become a 6k base again, I think that would shoot up his playability insanely. Or maybe release more support. As we see, this deck is mainly purple, so maybe combining a different color with the purple could lead to something interesting. Overall, I know I just said some ways that this deck isn't good, but I think this leader is really interesting. Kid slander is very popular right now because of the anime, but seeing a deck like this get so much support just over these kind of recent sets, and this leader came out in ST10, which, as we saw with some of these original cards, were from right around OP05. Getting support, even nowadays, basically an OP14. Like, I feel like they want this leader to be successful. And if they continue to give him support, I feel like he will be at some point. like, he wasn't bad. Like, even though we lost a lot of games, against that blue-purple Luffy, we were able to stand toe-to-toe against that deck for, like, 1 or 2 turns. And so, I think, looking back on it, we lost some, we won some. I will probably be continuing to test with this deck, especially with that 2-DOS Sanji. And I think just maybe one more piece of support. One just strong piece of support that's hopefully not a brick that can just push this deck further beyond. And I think that's all this deck really is going for. Just one strong card that we can run 4 copies of confidently. And I think Kid will become a very good deck. And so that is the episode for this week. I'm excited for next week and to see everyone's thoughts on this one. And that'll be Phoenix Bloom signing out.